Bódà tí kò bóyẹn, wọ́n wá sádùúgbò, wọ́n aṣọ ọmọ jẹ́ẹ́jẹ́. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan wọlé tán, gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ tán jẹ́ láwọ̀ kẹ́ṣẹ́. Tó bá tún ṣe wẹ́rẹ́, láti kò bò wọ́n ní kọ́dọ̀ tó lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n á ṣẹ̀nu mẹ́rẹ́, kàlòkàlò gbé nǹkan mi ṣẹ̀nu wúyẹ́. Làbí tún ti wọlé, ta ló dìbò fún?
The best station in music news, sports, and entertainment. We are high-powered 102.7 FM, the pride of the people.
The board man, in his famous quote on change, posited that change is inevitable. Change will always occur, but the application of direction to change determines its progress.
Darúgbó tó mi lọ lòdùnú pátí gbòmìnira òmìnira ìdí dàbí ẹ̀wọ̀ náírà wá.
It is on this note that I welcome you to the most informative, educative, and your analytical program, Pinpoint, from the stable of your favorite radio frequency, High Power 102.7 FM, Imrele Owo.
Tàná ní ìpọ̀pá ẹni bá tàgbà kó lọ mọ́ ọ̀tẹ́ni ṣé bẹ̀lẹ́ máa sùn yẹ bá sọ pé ó mọ kankan.
Pinpoint is a program that updates you on events and happenings reshaping the Nigerian system and polity. This is a program that informs you with detailed analysis of events across politics, security, economy, education, and an in-depth view of government policies with related trending issues in the Nigerian system. The program Pinpoint has a feedback segment where listeners are expected to call in to hear the views, opinions, and contributions to any topical issues discussed. It is on this note that I welcome you on board on the program Pinpoint. My name is AKIN Adebayo, your radio programs analyst. We want to go on a short break. We'll be back very soon.
Indeed,
welcome back. It's still your program, Pinpoint. We are transmitting from your darling station, iPower 102.7 FM in Relay Owo.
Kini sùúrù tí ò lérè, kini iṣẹ́ tí kò ṣeré, wọ́n ṣàlẹ́yọ̀ tí ò lọ.
Today on the program, we shall be looking into what led to the Dangote Pengassan face-off, its implication on the fate of employees in the private sector, the rules of engagement formulated by the employers, the economic effect on the country, and the position of government, which will go a long way in the fate of future investors in the affected sector. Welcome back. I'm glad to know you are still with us. To view us on Hyper 102.fm, 102.7 FM on social media, you can view us on our live streaming handles on Facebook 102.7 FM, on Instagram 1027 FM, on TikTok 1027 FM, and on your X handle 1027 FM. Or better still, like I said the other time, it is a phone-in program, so you can reach us in the course of the program as program progresses on our phone number 081 655 2499. I'm going to take that again, 081 655 24699. Like I said, we will be dealing with the issue of unionism, how it affects the employee and the employers. And most importantly, whenever there's a face-off between the employee and the employer, the government side, the government position, its effect on the employee and the employer, and most importantly, the government decision, its effect on the psyche of probably a potential investor in the sector that is having issue with the organized labor unions. Before we go into that properly, a brief history of how unionism started will help us in knowing what led to what, will help us to know the importance of unionism, would help us to know the effect of unionism on the employee and the employer, will help us to know how unionism has really helped in the economic development of countries, will help us to know how we can go about handling union matters. Unionism in Nigeria has a rich history rooted in the struggle for workers' rights, social justice, and political change evolving through colonial and post-colonial period. The Nigerian labor movement began in 1930. The Railway Workers Union of 1931 was one of the earliest driven grievances over low wages and poor working conditions. Now, I would not want us to be bored about the too much history of union evolution in Nigeria. It is on this note that I will be dwelling more on the dates unions were established, various unions from Nigerian Railway Corporation Workers and to NUC and other unions. It is on this note that I want you to know that in 1931, the formation of Nigerian Railway Workers Union was formulated. Michael Omoade led the first major strike in Nigeria. That was in 1941. And in 1945, a nationwide general strike strengthened labor unions. And 1978, establishment of Nigerian Labour Congress. That is when the umbrella body of all unions in Nigeria was established. That is the Nigerian Labour Congress. That is when it was established. It was established in 1978. Now, in the year 2012, NLC led the Occupy Nigerian protest against fuel increment. Then that was when we had a major union challenging the government then, the government of the day then, when they wanted to remove subsidy, and when they know for sure that this subsidy will lead to an unprecedented hike in palm price. So the union then came together led by the NLC group then, to protest that no, subsidy must be retained, and that was a major union protest in Nigeria then. Before we go further into the formation of union, we would like us to know that unionism did not just evolve. It is actually enshrined in the United Nations Charter. Article 12 of the United Nations Charter of Fundamental Human Rights guarantees the right to assemble peacefully and form or join organized like political parties or trade unions for collective interests. These rights are fundamental and recognized internationally, but these rights are not absolute and can be subjected to lawful, democratically justified restrictions, such as those necessary for public safety or protecting the rights of others. It will interest you to know that from this charter, Nigeria was able to draw its own fundamental right too, and it was drafted in the Constitution of Nigeria. While the Nigerian Constitution, Section 40 of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, as amended, guarantees the right to assembly, an association allowing individuals to form or join political parties, trade unions, and other associations. I deliberately emphasize that for us to have a good knowledge of why employees have the right to join any association they so desire. It is enshrined in the 1999 Constitution, Section 40, as amended. So, like I said, it's going to be an analytical program whereby you'll be more educated and you'll be more informed. This will now help us a great deal in knowing how to actually champion our rights in the course of doing that.
Bóra sí kò bóyẹn, wọ́n wá sádùúgbò, wọ́n aṣọmọ jẹ́ẹ́jẹ́. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan wọlé tán, gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ tán jẹ́ láwọ̀ kẹ́ṣẹ́. Tó bá tún ṣe wẹ́rẹ́, lásìkò bò wọ́n ní kọ́dọ̀ tó lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n á ṣẹ̀nu mẹ́rẹ́, kàlùkàlù gbé nǹkan mi ṣẹ̀nu wúyẹ́. Làbí tún ti wọlé, ta ló dìbò fún? Pàṣán tàbí iná yálé. Like
you made it to understand, as employees have the right to join union. Like you've always made us to understand, it is where your fundamental human right stops. That is where the right of someone else's begins. So the fact that you are probably working in an establishment, in as much as you have the right to join union, in the same manner, your employer equally has some certain rights. It is on this that I would like to read to our hearing the right of an employer. Now, first and foremost, an employer must know that his employee must have rights over unionism. So entrepreneurs have a legal obligation to support and respect the freedom of association for their employees. This respect includes allowing your employees to select their own union representatives, engage in collective bargaining without employers' interference, while employers have right to protect their investments. The freedom of association for workers is a protected human right that must be balanced with this interest, not used to suppress workers' rights. Simply means that as an employee, you have a right. In the same manner, your employer equally has the right to making sure that you are going to join this union, but that doesn't mean that you should not use the union to start creating problems in his own establishment. As we all know, an average entrepreneur has actually invested into a particular business to make money, to make gain. And the very minute you are being employed, then you must know that there are some rules of engagement that is attached to your employment letter.
Ẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ pé àṣìwà lọ́mọdé nǹkan sálẹ̀ yẹn jẹ́ kàgbàdo tó dé.
Unionism in Nigerian context has its own advantage, and in the same manner, it equally has its own negative and disadvantages as well. Now, what is the advantage of union? Of course, like we earlier said, unionism is enshrined in the European Union Charter, as equally enshrined in 1999 Constitution Section 40 as amended, that as an employee, you have right to join a union that will champion your cause, a union that will always fight for you, probably if you are being cheated, if your right is being undermined by your employer. So, because an average employer equally have the tendency of overriding the right of his or her employees. So the union you belong to will no doubt come on board to champion your cause. Now, over time in history, we've learned that unionism or unionists have helped in making sure that the interests of their members are well protected. And this oftentimes has led to one protest of the other. Like you made to understand, you could all remember the issue of tax reforms back then in Aba. That was when we had the Aba women riot, that they cannot be paying the tax that the colonial master then we are imposing on them. It's happened then back in Aba. We are equally familiar with what happened back in Abeokuta, led by the mother of the late musical legend, Felanikola Kuti, in person of Fumi Layo Ransom Kuti, a woman advocate, in fact, which is one of the foremost women in Nigeria that actually made an unprecedented record in this country. So, for other men start coming up on board as well. So, in summary, we are now saying that unionism had always over time protected the interests of the members, thereby putting to check the excesses of employers of labor. There's nothing whatsoever that has a good side that will not have its own negative side. How has unionism helped us so far? Or what has been the negative impact of unionism? These days, it's so unfortunate that unionism is becoming a conduit pipe to even frustrate the government, to exploit the government, and also to even exploit their members. We've heard of instances whereby some of the union executives will come together, walk up to the government, claim one or two benefits, and it will not even get to their members. Such benefit is limited to the people that are witness to what is being released for their other members. That is one. On the second part, we've had instances whereby even if a contributory member had issues, probably on health, probably on his or her job, most of the union executives are not always there to be of help. They don't render their assistance as expected. The question now is this: why did you join a union? A union that cannot protect your interests. A union that can't be there for you when you are faced with one challenges or the other. Now, on the economy, union has over time frustrated the economy. Like in the case of Nupeng then, during the era of Franco Kori, when he was happens to be the chairman of Nupeng then, when he had the country to its jugular during the era of General Sani Abacha. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the era that we had the subsidy was introduced. That was the era that we started importing fuel massively. And over time, unionists and even oil marketers, they've predated on this policy to the extent that there was a time in this country that we have to start spending the entire budget of the country on paying subsidy. Investors in the oil sector, particularly those people that are importing finished oil products, are now started predating on it to the extent that the entire 4 refineries in Nigeria was completely shut down, was frustrated, was vandalized, to the extent that government over time had tried to resuscitate these oil refineries, but none seem to be working. Just of recent, we heard about the billions of dollars that was wasted on bringing back these refineries to mainstream. None seem to be working. But as God will have it, somebody now went into the private investors of refinery in person of Alhaji Aliko Dangote. And as we speak now, is one of the major, though there are other refineries, not that about that, about 20 refineries, but which are all modular. The most pronounced refinery in Nigeria as it stands now is the Dangote refinery that is now into the production of oil products. Is it diesel? Is it petrol? Is it LPG? Is it fuel for jet fuel and what have you? To the extent that it now exports this finished product into other countries, thereby generating more income for the country. Just of recent, suspecting a kind of sabotage by the Nigerian employers, Dangote group of company, particularly Dangote refinery, laid off 800 Nigerian engineers. And this brought about the issue of Pengassin and Nupeng embarking on a strike, threatening Dangote to the extent that they cut off the supply of gas to the refinery. They cut off the supply of other materials that could have made the refinery to be more functional. It was cut off because Dangote laid the Nigerian workers off. The question is this: does Dangote have the right to send his workers off if he suspects sabotage? I think the answer is yes. As Akavela said, where your own right stops, that is where someone else's right begins. So as an employee, where you think you can begin to champion your own right in an establishment, equally bear in mind that your employer equally has his own right. To every employment, there are rules of engagement. And as if I'm not mistaken, before you could pick up the employment letter, you must have painstakingly gone through sure that we have for consumption back here in Nigeria. And the Pengassin and Nupeng equally said that as far as they are in charge of oil production, they are in charge of oil management in Nigeria, that they have a right. The question now is this: the position of the government will now go a long way. Will either work positively in the psyche of a future investment into the oil sector. Like I said, it is what the position of the government will go a long way in determining the interest. The fear will either allay the fear of a potential investor, or probably embolden him that, okay, if I should invest into this sector, no doubt I will definitely repatriate my money back. That is one. Secondly, the position of the government will go a long way in putting a check to the excesses of these various unions. Because one thing is this that we've come to discover in the Nigerian context: the very minute a union becomes so powerful, it has its own negative effect on the economy. Like the GMD of NNPCL, in person of Ayo Julari, said that the 2-day strike affected the oil production in Nigeria. Now, as we speak, the liquefied natural gas LNG has skyrocketed to the extent that people are now complaining bitterly, all because of 2-day strike embarked upon by Pengassin. Also, there was a kind of brief increment in petroleum products, all because of this 2-day strike. I think the question now is this: should we allow these unions to continue with what they are doing? Is it not indeed a sabotage as alleged by Dangote? If they allow you not to continue in this manner, are they not trying to frustrate Dangote refinery the way they frustrated the entire four refineries in Nigeria that is not functional? Or can we say the cartel behind the importation of fuel are the one orchestrating or sponsoring these, various unions? I think that is the question begging for answer. On this note, I would like to say a very big thank you because our time is fast spent. My first appreciation goes to the viewers that our listeners who have been there with us, our same listeners which have been there with us. It's been a wonderful time with you on the program. Pinpoint. Your feedback, opinions, contributions, comments, and suggestions are still very much welcome on all our social media handles. That is Facebook, iPower1027 FM, Instagram, iPower1027 FM, TikTok, iPower1027 FM, our X handle as well, iPower102 FM. We are hoping that you join us again next week as we bring to you, to your listening pleasure, more interesting topic. My thanks goes to General Manager, Engineer Paul Olotu, the Head of Programs, Elijah Olurotimi, my Mabel Head of News and Current Affairs, Alabadi Yemi, Head of Marketing, Olayin Kanko, and Studio Manager, MTK, and to the ICT personnel, Shegun and Inioluwa. I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you, and I'm hoping that next week we will be bringing again to your listening pleasure more fascinating topics that will educate us, enlighten us, and actually knowing what is going on in the Nigerian system. I am your radio analyst program, Akin Adebayo. Have a very good day. Thank you.